All right, Commissioner DiMattei.
Here.
Commissioner Eklund.
Here.
Commissioner Friedman.
Here.
Commissioner Gustafson.
Here.
Commissioner Lohman.
Here.
Commissioner Rohan. Commissioner Landon. Absent. Commissioner Spriggs. Commissioner Wilson. And Commissioner Youngblood. Absent. And Chair Alpine.
Here.
Right?
Thank you. That brings us to item 3, reports from staff. We believe we have 2 of them today.
Yes, so I will begin with the report about the LAFCO Annual Conference. It was a very successful conference this year. Staff, commissioners, everyone had a really great time. The sessions were really informative and timely, especially for Placer LAFCO. I want to congratulate Commissioner Eklund for winning her seat on the board. We're very proud of you. Yes.
Sure. That's great.
Yes. And then we got a surprise. Placer LAFCO was awarded the Mike Gotch Courage and Innovation Award. You can see it sitting in the front right here. And I'm going to go ahead and read what was said at the award ceremony. So this is the script that was said. This is for the Mike Gotch Excellence in Public Service Award in the category of Innovation, Collaboration, Outreach, and Effective Support of Local Agency Evolution. It's my honor to present the Mike Gotch Excellence in Public Service Award in the category of Innovation, Collaboration, Outreach, and Effective Support of Local Agency Evolution. This award is named for a man who believed in rolling up his sleeves, facing challenges head-on, and improving local government with courage and common sense. This year's recipient, Placer LAFCO, exemplifies that same spirit. In developing its 2024-2028 plus strategic plan, Placer LAFCO didn't just write another glossy binder. It started by listening, really listening to commissioners, city and county leaders, special districts, and community members. They took a candid look at local challenges, service gaps, fuzzy boundaries, and uneven infrastructure investment, and turned those conversations into clear priorities and measurable action. Then they did something rarer. They implemented the plan immediately, aligning budgets, modernizing policies, and tying every agenda item to strategic goals. They made the plan visible and accountable. The result, a living, breathing plan strengthening transparency and performance, now drawing attention statewide as a model for other LAFCOs. Mike Gotch would have appreciated innovation not for its own sake, but for making local government work better for people. So congratulations to all of you and your staff and the consultant for a job well done on that report, or the strategic plan. And I want to say that I heard from a lot of other LAFCOs that they are using it as a model to create their strategic plans. So round of applause to all of you.
Good job.
Great.
Can't take credit for it. I wasn't here yet. Yeah.
Oh,
Well done.
thank you. That's awesome.
Yep.
I recognize that's a good deal. So anybody else like to report on anything from the?
LAFCO conference, if anyone wants to, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we put our notes together from the things that we learned. So I'll start. So we covered the strategic plan award and the Mike Gotch, the board election, which I'll start next month. I believe we're going to have an orientation. So I don't fully know what I got myself into yet, but I'm excited. It'll be good. There's a lot of good stuff we can do. Let's see. So proudly we wanted to let everybody know that our consultant was a panelist. So Amanda, Ross, Colette, and Jim from RSG all played vital roles in our conference. They were expert panelists or moderators during our various breakout sessions. Their expertise was instrumental in enhancing the quality of the conference sessions. To maximize the information that we gathered, the Placer group, us, strategically divided to attend overlapping sessions to make sure that we covered all of the different classes and all the topics that were available. And during the incorporation sessions, which was paneled with Jim Simon, the city manager from the new city of Europa Valley, and J.D. Hightower from Stanislaus County for Mountain House, emphasized that securing a CEQA specialist attorney is essential for any incorporation application. Additionally, it was very wise for each LAFCO to have established incorporation policies. And the panelists and attendees also noted that a timeline, and gave us a timeline for incorporation, and it's genuinely recognized as particularly challenging. And we are trying to get a hold of those slides in the deck so that we can provide that, so that it'll be helpful for any incorporations and applications that we get. It was a great visual. They kind of mapped out each month sort of how long it generally takes for each part of the process, including once it hits us and then therefore on. Other sessions that we attended included a LAFCO refresher, which I know Commissioner Wilson really got a lot out of that, as it was kind of like a good introductory orientation and covered everything. And shoot, I know I should have written it down. There's one thing that was news to me. Do you remember what it was that I didn't know? There's only one thing as a refresher. Shoot, it'll come to me later. Overall, it was just a good refresher. And then they covered a really in-depth session on failing and merging fire and water districts, which was timely, and protecting farmland, increasing housing, and then legislative forecast. So I'll let you add on to that.
If you recall, I offered to do best practices research at the conference on recruiting our permanent EO and also on managing data requests from member agencies, especially the county member. I'd like to cover the recruiting best practices that we heard first. I spoke in depth with a number of, well, all of the LAFCO people who were at our Central Region caucus on their best practices. Also spoke to select EOs throughout the state. Some of them were independent LAFCOs who have their own HR departments and function just as you would expect them to. The basic options for hiring are relying on county HR for recruitment, as we have done in the past, have the county hire a search firm, and then also there's a variation of that, and that variation is for a county to hire a search firm that has specific LAFCO search experience. The feedback that we got was that HRs generally, those associated with counties, generally don't have the connections within the LAFCO community, which is a relatively small community. There's 58 LAFCOs in the state. Research firms can be very expensive and take time in terms of getting an understanding of what the job is and knowing the network of qualified professionals. A new option surfaced from this research, and that is for a LAFCO to enter into a shared services agreement with another LAFCO in California to actually do whatever the desired tasks might be for the recruitment process. And the benefits of that are a less expensive process, and it's very targeted research, and it takes less time because of those things. And then moving on to effectively managing the data requests from members, especially the county members. I spoke again to our region's delegation and to several of the EOs across the state, particularly those that have more cities and special districts, because they would have experiences that are more compatible to our own. There is generally not an issue in terms of data requests from the feedback that we got. Riverside County and Riverside LAFCO deal with 28 cities and 55 special districts. And that EO from Riverside thought perhaps there would be some benefit in talking to Riverside County about how it manages its LAFCO data requests. And that's basically the feedback from those two particular exercises that I was focused on. It was a really good conference, and I'm really glad I had the opportunity to go. Thank you.
Thank you. Scott, would you like to say anything, what you learned?
No, just push it once.
Just push it once.
Okay, there we go.
There you go.
I was really fortunate to be there with Director Eklund and Director Rohan, Amanda. a lot of learning going on, and Director Rohan really hit on some key indicators. I was particularly impressed with the possibility of, and I believe it was Santa Cruz, wasn't it, that we talked to, as far as the search for the EO position. They had recently gone through it. They drafted the whole procedure, and on the surface, without digging into it more, I hope we do, I think that that could be a really good option for us. And I just want to thank Amy for putting it together so I could make it down there. It was a lot to take in and very beneficial. So.
Right. Well, thank you. Thank you for the report. And it's awesome that we got recognized statewide for innovative ways of doing things. Imagine that. Good job. And thank you. So that brings us to our second, is the financial audit update.
Sorry, Chair, real quick, I forgot. I put up photos. You can see us. There we go. I apologize for not moving to the next slide. There we are, getting the award.
Oh, look at that.
Okay.
Good looking crowd.
All right. Thank you. That was. Sorry.
All right, that brings us to our second report, financial audit update.
Yes, I reached out to our financial auditors, James Marta and Company, and they gave me an update that the information we've provided is now under management review. So once I find out more, I will report back.
All right, thank you. Thank you for the update. All right, that moves us to item 4, changes and approval of the agenda. Seeing none, can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained. Motion carries unanimously. That moves us to item 5, public comment. At this time, this opportunity for the public to speak to the commission on any subject within the jurisdiction that is not on today's agenda. Items from the public will be considered without discussion to the commission and may refer to staff. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Well, first, we'll have the people in the chambers, and then I'll ask those that are online. So, yes, please, Jennifer.
Jennifer. I'm here again to talk about the Newcastle Fire Department. I went and actually interviewed some of our firefighters to get their take on this merger. I asked them a lot of questions, some of them being, why are you a firefighter and why do you stay at this station? The general consensus is that they have ties to the community, whether they grew up here or have family, friends, or have developed long-lasting friendships through being on the job. They enjoy immersing themselves in our community by teaching fire safety at the schools or doing pancake breakfasts to build relationships in the community. They feel like something was missing from their lives and their previous jobs, and when they came to the Newcastle Fire Station, they felt whole and complete, and they feel like they're living their dream. They have their dream job now. And you don't hear that very often in today's society. They love helping people on their worst day. They said that the only difference right now between now and the merger would be that the patches that they wear on their uniforms. They've all been sharing, the administration, secretary, the chiefs, the battalion coverage, mechanics, fire marshal services for at least 10 years. They also talked about the strong brotherhood at the station and the surrounding stations and how everybody gets along, and it's a really enjoyable environment to work in. Through joint operation agreements, they are able to work at each other's firehouses to get to know each other, and through emergency service exercises with the surrounding stations, they all get to know each other and work together. All the firefighters work full-time. 56 hours for a captain per week, 72 for an engineer, and they all have part-time work on top of that, and their spouses work full-time just to make ends meet. The ALS, the Advanced Life Support and Paramedic feature at the firehouse, will help greatly because 9 out of 10 times they arrive on scene first before the ambulance. AMR is the ambulance company. They're stationed in Rockland or in Auburn. One of our firefighters is a trained paramedic and actually lost one of our citizens because they don't have the proper equipment on the truck and the paramedics got there too late. And I can't imagine being trained to do that and losing somebody in the process. The firefighters are looking forward also to getting some benefits through this merger so that they can stay there and have some kind of retirement, and having a little bit of a higher pay so they can maybe just work one job instead of 1.5 jobs. The firefighters do amazing work. They're all very kind, and it was just really an honor to actually sit down and talk with them and meet them. So I thank you.
Thank you very much, Jennifer. Does anybody else from the public like to speak today? In the chambers, please come to the podium.
Afternoon, my name's Terrence O'Hearn. My family lives in Newcastle, and we would like the fire department to stay. We've had needs of it from time to time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else from the public in the chambers like to speak today under public comment? Seeing none, I'm going to close public comment at the chamber and ask those that are online. I'll ask right now if anybody would like to speak. I do know one person. I see a hand raised. Terry, please, this is your chance to address the commission.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi there. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Terry Myers. My husband, Don Myers, and his family, including his mother, father, and grandparents and his brother, are all laid to rest in the Colfax Cemetery. The family has been in the Colfax area since the early 1970s. Around 1980, Audrey Myers, after Alvin Myers passed away, purchased 8 plots in the Colfax Cemetery. The current manager of the cemetery was called in early August of 2025 to confirm how many of those plots were left after some of the Myers family had been interned. We were told he was out of town and he will not be available until after October. And as of this date, we've not heard from him. He indicated he is the only one that has a location map and information that's locked in a room at the cemetery. We're trying to intern my father. He's a World War II veteran, and it's definitely created a lot of stress and concern that this has taken a phone call, in fact, several of them, to reach this point of reaching out to you and your members to take action to create a county portal for public access to have an up-to-date map, some details and locations of available plots, how many exist and how many have been paid for. Another family member was due a refund after finding out after several months that she also had a previously purchased plot that Audrey Myers had purchased years ago, and it took several months to receive a refund. We're asking if the board can support a public access via a county website or through an appropriate channel to have access to a map of cemetery information, cost and location of plots. Something better than is what I was told. You need to bury your family after I get back from out of state. There needs to be someone local, accessible to answer these questions. I spoke to Amy, one of your assistants, and I was directed to a Nancy Hagerman, and she indicated that she had no information and would need to wait until Craig returned. It's a really needed service and an update with accessibility, and it would be very much appreciated. I would like to order a plaque for my dad from the VA, and they won't send it to other than where the location of the marker is going to be placed. So your help on that would be very much appreciated.
Okay, thank you, Terry. Is there anyone else online that would like to speak under public comment? Seeing none, I'm going to close public comment. And Amanda, have we been in, or should I say, Executive Interdirector Ross, have we been getting in contact with Terry and her family?
Yes,
Or-
yes.
okay.
We have been in contact, and we have received the admin draft of the fire service, cemetery service MSR, and are working with our consultant to make some changes to that. And we've also been speaking with the cemetery districts themselves to get some options on the table. So we're working diligently to try to find a solve for this problem.
And were we still scheduled for January on this item? Was that?
I think that it's going to take a little more finessing
Okay.
for us to work
Okay.
through the current dilemma and come up with some good solutions for the commission to consider. So as much as I would love to say yes, we'll have to see how it goes. We'll shoot for that, how about? But it might be a little later.
I was trying to remember our discussion at the work plan. Sorry, I couldn't remember.
that's
I didn't mean to put you on the spot there, but I did, we have received numerous complaints about this cemetery and some of the issues going on there. We can't take action as a county unless they're dissolved, and
Right.
so we have to look at what other services, how we can help move things forward, because we certainly understand people's loved ones need to be interred when they pass, so.
Yes, we're very aware. Colette, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
No, I think you're right on track that we want to, we're working on actively scheduling meetings and would like to also connect with the county on this item as well, because, you know, as if any of these districts are dissolved, we need to, you know, that those assets and you know, the county would be successor likely unless another cemetery district is like an adjacent cemetery district would be open to annexing and taking on adjacent cemeteries. So there's different options. We want to explore all options and work with all affected agencies on this. So some more time, but then we also want to bring forward an update to the commission even before we bring forward a draft service review, so we can, you know, update the commission and get your feedback as well about various options. Great. Some more to come.
Great, thank you very much. When talking to the executive director of the Colfax Cemetery, see if there's anything, a way we could assist of help getting Terry's situation resolved. This is what we're talking right now. If a member of the public would be quite concerned, we're talking about processes that take months, and I think that they would like to take care of their loved one as soon as possible. And if we could assist the executive director into making that happen, that would be, I think, a positive outcome for the short term right now for Terry and her family. So, thank you. And thank you very much for bringing that to our attention, Terry. With that, we're going to move on to item 6, the consent calendar. Is there any questions from the commission on any items listed on the consent calendar that the commission would like to pull for further discussion? 6B, would you like to comment or pull it? Pull it. Okay, I'd like to pull 6B. Is there any other, looking online, we have a commissioner online. Judy, is there any questions? All right.
No, I'm sorry, but you're pulling 6B?
Yeah, 6B is going to be pulled
thank you.
for further discussion, 6 Bravo.
Thank you.
All right. This time I'll ask the public if any member of the public would like to comment on any of the consent items on the consent calendar. This is your time. Seeing none in the chambers. If anybody online would like to comment on any item on the consent calendar. Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the commission for action.
Move to approve consent.
Second?
Without 6B.
Yep, second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries unanimously. Let's take out item 6 Bravo, the 2026 LAFCO Commission meeting schedule. Commissioner Rohan?
Yes, I was entering that into my calendar, and I realized that November 11th of 2026 is Veterans Day. Perhaps we could approve all of it except that date and come back and have staff bring an alternate date for us.
Concur?
Appropriate.
Sounds appropriate?
All right.
All right. So
If you need to open it up to the public.
I will open it up to the public. Right now, if anybody from the public like to speak to item 6 Bravo, the 2026 LAFCO meeting calendar schedule? See none. Anybody online? See none. Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve item 6B on our consent calendar with the exception of November 11th. We'll wait for staff to come back for an alternate date.
Second.
Second, Loman. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Thank you. This takes us to item 7, closed session attendance. This is an item, does the commission determine whether the alternate commissioners have an essential role to play in the following closed session item and may attend the closed session? Can I get a motion? Or
Motion to approve their inclusion.
second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries, and that moves us to item 8, closed session. We will recess into our closed session, and then we'll come back to the chambers and report after item 8. We are returning from item 8, closed session. We have nothing to report. We are moving on to item 9. This is a public hearing. Placer LAFCO Policy Manual. The way this will work is we'll open up a public hearing. You'll hear, first we'll have a report from the staff. Then we will open it, any questions on the report will come from the commission. Then we'll open it up for public comment. This is at that time the public can make any comment on it. We'll close the public hearing. The staff will be able to answer all the questions that were brought forth, and then it will be brought back for the commission for a decision. So that's kind of the process here. And with that, let's start with the staff report. Amanda?
Thank you, Chair and Commissioners. So today, the Commission, as part of a notice public hearing item, will be considering adoption of the Placer LAFCO Policy Manual, and Resolution number 2511 is included in Attachment A in the packet. The Policy Manual update is an outcome of the Commission's 2024-2028 strategic plan. The update process began in December of 2024 with the assistance of Ellen Cross, a strategy driver, to facilitate multiple workshops with the Commission and really to identify what existing policies should remain in effect and what policies needed to update. And your policy manual that is in front of you today is comprised of 31 policies, separated into 3 chapters. The first being how to work with LAFCO. Chapter 2 is the administration and operations policies. And then the third is commissioner guidelines. The commission reviewed a full draft policy manual at its last meeting on October 8th. And there were really limited updates from that time. So you'll see an attachment to the changes in red line since the October 8th meeting. And then attachment 3 is the full clean version of the proposed draft policy manual. And you may recall, I'll just kind of go through the changes that have been provided in red line. So you may recall that there was a question regarding the urban decay analysis reference that was in the environmental review section, which is 1.16. And you'll see that that reference has been removed and with an expanded reference to LAFCO's ability, through its role as responsible agency through the discretionary review process and environmental review process, the ability to, through its comments to the lead agency, be able to request, expanded evaluation or analysis of applicable economic or social effects of a project pursuant to CEQA guidelines. So that addresses that need and is broad without explicitly requiring or requesting an urban decay analysis. So we, legal counsel and staff feel that that is adequate. You'll also recall at the last meeting in October, staff brought forward a range of sphere of influence designations that are widely recognized by LAFCOs throughout the state and regularly used in municipal service reviews and spheres of influence updates. Since the October meeting, there's an additional sphere type that is used, and we recognize that would be useful to include, and that's provisional sphere. And so you'll see that in red line. And it's really, I guess I'll just read the definition. It's a temporary sphere designation applied to agencies experiencing financial or service-related concerns. A provisional sphere acknowledges current deficiencies and identifies specific improvements that must be addressed within a defined time frame. Usually that would be 1 year to 2 years. And then during this period, LAFCO monitors progress, may conduct follow-up review to determine whether adequate corrective actions have been taken. And then at that point, if deficiencies remain unresolved, the commission may consider modifying the designation to a 0 sphere, which recognizes that the agency should be dissolved. and then can also initiate reorganization or dissolution proceedings. LAFCO initiated dissolution proceedings consistent with Government Code Section 56375 A2 or 56375.1. And so this is just another tool in the toolbox that provides the agency to address those financial or service related concerns before just jumping right into dissolution. And sometimes, they can really work to address and build capacity and really, pull it together before officially going through the dissolution proceedings. So that's a policy that we're requesting the commission consider and have included in Redline. Otherwise, there were some Redline strikeout changes incorporated to the service review section, which is 1.1, and that explicitly references agency engagement in addition to community engagement. And then I believe those are most of the changes. Let me know if the commissioners have any questions about the red lines. Otherwise, we, this, as a public hearing item, we sent out a 21-day notice and published that, as well as notified each member agency, county, cities, special districts, as well as the incorporation proponents from Eastern Placer Futures, because there's a new incorporation policy. LAFCO received comments from Placer County, the Internal Audit Division, and the Auditor Controller's Office regarding consistency with county policies, specifically looking at policy 2.3 asset management, policy 2.7 internal financial control, and policy 2.8 travel. And we did have legal counsel review these sections. Specifically, policies 2.3 and 2.7 have been in place for years. No changes are being proposed to those. And then 2.7, the internal financial controls. We feel that the subject matter covers, LAFCO's, discretion and authority. And we feel at this point that there's no changes necessary to those policies. And so we are bringing forward a resolution for adoption today and available for any questions.
If I may, Chair Alpine?
Yes, yes.
I just wanted to clarify something. I may have misheard it, but with respect to the three policies that the county had commented on, the travel policy is a new policy. The other two policies are the two that had been in place for years. And so let me switch screens here so I get the numbers right. Policy 2.7 and policy 2.3 are those that have been in place for a number of years. 2.7, the internal financial control policy, merely incorporates all the county's policies. Then with respect to the new policy, travel, that falls completely within the commission's discretion as to what travel policy it would like to have. It can be consistent with the counties. It doesn't have to be consistent with the county. So I just wanted to clarify that in case I misheard what Colette had said.
Okay, thank you. So that can conclude the presentation. I'll bring it to the commission. Is there any questions on the staff presentation?
Nope.
See none? Okay, at this time, I'm going to open up the public hearing. I'll start with those that are in the chambers first. If any member of the public like to speak to this item, please approach the podium. Oh, you're on? There we go.
Good afternoon, Chair Alpine, members of the commission, Andy Sisk, Placer County Auditor Controller. So I have concerns regarding Chapter 2, Administration and Operations, and the sections that were cited, 2.3, 2.6, 2.7, and 2.8. The primary question I have is whose policies is LAFCO following? Are they following county policy or LAFCO policy? Since LAFCO employees are county employees, I would assume they're following county policies. If that assumption is correct, then updates will need to be made to sections 2.3, 2.6, 2.7, and 2.8. If they do not follow county policies, then we would provide recommendations, especially section 2.7. That section definitely needs to be updated. It's not accurate. We do not have an internal control manual, and I've heard the acting executive director and the lawyer speak to that. We were not provided any opportunity to provide comment, so we would have made updates to that section. In particular, the first thing I would have done is gone to the audit report. Unfortunately, the prior executive officer chose a different firm, so I can't even have an audit report to look at to verify the policies and who they're following. The travel policy, if the executive officer is still a county employee, I believe they would follow county policies on travel, which we already have in place at the county, per diems, when you need receipts, et cetera, et cetera. So we would provide it, we would welcome an opportunity to provide edits to those sections. Unfortunately, this all flows to my level. My staff are somewhat new in this area, and I'm trying to keep up with the workload. And so I'm here today to express my concerns. Happy to answer any questions.
Andy, specifically, Mr. Chair.
Oh, that's all right.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Andy, specifically on the capital asset policy, we've updated those numbers. Is that correct?
For the county, we increased our equipment threshold to $10,000 from $5,000.
$5,000. So that's the recommendation that the county would provide. I don't know what the other cities provide, but I don't think us changing that to follow the county's policy would make a big, major difference to LAFCO, because this is a standard.
You know, every jurisdiction can choose their own capitalization threshold. What we do is we follow the federal government, and the federal government recently changed that equipment threshold from 5 to 10. As soon as that happens, then most jurisdictions typically adopt it, but you can always have a lower threshold. Of course, you can always have a higher threshold on what you capitalize.
We could also adopt, another choice we have today would be to adopt all the policies and take these under advisement and insert this later, because I don't want to drag this out. But I do think we should be consistent with the county until such time that LAFCO becomes an independent agency that I just heard about. So if that's going to happen, then we would set up all of our own policies. But in the meantime, I think we should have a tie back to county policies. Having receipts at $7 versus $20 is a pain to me often, Andy, as you know.
Yes.
But it's the standard that the county, other county employees follow.
And that's why we went to per diem, to eliminate receipts.
Right.
All the time.
All the time.
There are certain
Yeah.
times we want receipts, as you know.
So it's up to the rest of the commission, but I would feel that we either, it's hard to make changes to 2.7 because you're saying there's numerous other updates.
Well,
that would need
I don't know where things stand. There was an MOU between the county and LAFCO. It goes back to 2001. I have a copy of it. I don't know if it's still in effect. So that would be a question for the county executive office.
It is, yeah.
Okay, well, I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was looking back over the MOU when we received the correspondence from your office, and it specifically states that the county auditor should or will not do any audits, and it's very specific that it is a service provider only, and it's only for county equipment, et cetera. So then I'm also still confused about whether or not our employees are county employees when the MOU states that they're processed through the billing and HR, but they're not actually county employees. They are just processed through this MOU that states it out as a separate, and we're supposed to be an independent agency. So it's very murky,
I think we went through this at one of the workshops that currently they are reported to PERS through Placer County. They are Placer County employees. Otherwise, they lose PERS benefits.
Yeah.
Until we set up a separate or contract with someone else, they are PERS through Placer County.
Right.
So that's a bigger discussion that I'm totally
Right.
open to having that discussion, but
Well,
for
it
these.
came out for this,
Yeah.
this particular situation is where it got confusing for me because of all these things that we've kind of had come in and out. And, now we're not supposed to be at odds, but it just seems like it's all very contradictory to what our MOU states. And then if we're gonna, which I get where you're coming from, but if we're gonna make our policies in line with the county policies, then that could be setting a precedence that we're very much not an independent agency, which is what we're supposed to be. And so it almost goes in deeper to what LAFCO essentially is. And so anyway, that's where like this whole situation just kind of brought it all to a head for me, and it's more confusing. Yeah, but I felt like after our attorney laid it all out, it made sense as to why we're not addressing or changing our policies for the ones that are still left out.
If this is a major issue for you, I don't find these to be major issues.
find
other
it.
I don't
than-
think it's major either. I just don't understand.
Well, let's just
why it's
continue
a
with the
thing.
public the things.
Well,
We'll have a discussion
Yeah.
after, I think, Andy, right?
I mean, I don't know what more to say. There is no internal control manual, so it's cited in 2.7. That manual, I updated and got rid of it in 2005 and updated it. So again, if you want to have something that's outdated in your manual, that's fine.
That's right.
But again, I think we should be given an opportunity to provide comment, and we weren't. So, and I don't know what internal audit division sent. I know we've done a change of office audit, and so I don't know if that was a byproduct. I don't know if that's what was referenced, but yeah, I kind of in the dark a little bit here. So I want to help, and I'm here to help, but I get these relationships are challenging for me in particular. APCD, air pollution control, flood control, I could go on, Western Placer Waste, and Placer Conservation Authority. I ended with that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ann.
Thanks, Sandy.
Any other member of the public that's in the chambers would like to speak to just come on up to the podium, please. State your name.
Hi, my name is Hisela Greenhouse. I go by Sela. I appreciate coming here for the first time, and I came because it was a public hearing, and so that means that I should, because I saw it, I should go. And I honestly was not very happy with the presentation I just was given for the public hearing. Giving me a logistics overview of what we've done is not a good presentation of the manual that's there for me to be able to get a good understanding at this hearing of how I can comment for 3 minutes and then get feedback back. So like a who, what, where, when, why, a little bit more about the manual, not necessarily about the work that's been done on the manual is what I'm looking for. I have not had a chance to read the manual. I just was trying to thumb through that in between the sessions and look at the page numbers and try to get a grasp of it. But from the discussion I'm hearing right now between Mrs. Gustafson and Mrs. Eklund, what I'm understanding is that this organization is independent from the county, and that this wonderful auditor back here, controller, is mentioning that there are specific parts of the manual that might be a little muddy and murky in regards to holding accountable on auditing and controlling of some kind of expenses. So I can't tell you that I have an educated comment right now. It is very ignorant in where I'm at right now, but I am taking an interest into this because I go to my city council meetings, and Mrs. Eklund speaks about her interaction here, and she's represented very well for my city council, and I want to make sure that as a public person that I get involved. Understanding a little bit of this organization and what it's for makes me know how important it is of the synergy that we need within our county. I saw a public person bring up a very good point. I see city and county people here, and so I can see the importance of this organization. Coming forward with a strategic plan, I grabbed that at the entrance as I came in, but I do want to make sure that a manual is very important. And if it is set for 4 to 5 years, or if it's reviewed again in a year, I want to make sure that we do our diligence to feel a cohesion and comfortable level with moving forward with that manual, and not from the public, but just at least from the commission, from the staff that are putting it forward, and that you guys are ready to put your stamp of approval on it. And let me say, as I went to my school board meeting last night, they were speaking about the sins of the past and the mistakes of the past and how we have to now deal with this forward. And so I don't want to pass things on so that in 10 years, when I am still hopefully in this county and alive, that I'm not dealing with this manual that we didn't put our diligence in. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other member of the public like to speak? The chamber? Seeing none, I'm going to open up public comment for those that are online. Anybody online like to speak to this item?
We have
Steve Teixeira, please speak.
Thank you, Chairman Alpine, and good afternoon, members of the LAFCO board, staff, and other folks in attendance. My name is Steve Teixeira, and I'm here on behalf of Eastern Placer Future. We appreciated the recent opportunity to get acquainted with your interim Chief Executive Officer, Ms. Senchi, and we've had conversations. I think most of the board maybe are aware that we're closing in on the gathering of sufficient petition signatures to go along with our application to LAFCO for the proposed incorporation of the community of North Tahoe. We will hopefully be delivering our petitions within the next couple of weeks. I've had conversation with your administrator, Ms. Engel, about that, and appreciated her welcoming and explaining the process for us delivering the petitions. We have looked at the manual that's in front of you today. We particularly focused on the section policy 1.8 incorporations and 1.16 environmental review. But we will, of course, look at any of the other sections that we believe are appropriate to us. But I think we're comfortable, at least with regard to our process, of seeing that this manual has been the product of a lot of work putting together. There may be some issues, obviously, that the commission wants to deal with. But we believe that we understand quite completely the process that we're going through with LAFCO. We're represented by legal counsel team from the Rainey Public Law Group out of San Francisco. They've been very capable in assisting us in our process. So just here to comment, introduce ourselves, make sure that everybody's aware that we are coming forward soon with an application with the requisite number of petition signatures to be considered and validated. Happy to participate in today's hearing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. All right, anybody else online like to speak? Seeing none, we're going to close public comment and bring it back to the commission for discussion. It seems like we already kind of answered Andy's question, unless we'd like to still discuss that. The staff addressed it and others about the policy in the purchasing policy. The other comment was just about the discussion of our discussion that was a little bit early, but I think that we'd have to to answer that concern that these policy manuals was constructed to be reviewed and to make changes relatively very easily at any time. So let's just say if we wanted to redo or update a certain section, it is not as difficult as it was in the past. So when our old policies were kind of spread out, they were kind of hard to follow and understand. This new policy consolidation and the way that it's done is easier to find what the policy, what it retains to, and also make edits and changes relatively fast, well, not fast, but relatively in a simple process. It wasn't had to be a prolonged process like it did in the past.
So I just would raise the question, does the LAFCO Commission feel that we should meet the federal guidelines on the capital asset and raise that number to be consistent with the federal guidelines at 10,000 versus 5,000? Because that's a quick change, correct? Was there a reason staff wasn't recommending that be changed to the current federal standards? Because I think what's happened is we carried it over from past, but the federal standards have changed. So that's why it went from 5 to 10. So
I'm comfortable if you want to make those edits, but that's not a thing. I think that more importantly, the section should be talked, after being passed today, because it does pass according to our council, that it's fine as it's presented. But there is a concern with the auditor of the county that maybe we should go.
Because there isn't an internal manual, so you're referencing an internal county manual that
Right.
doesn't exist. So that's, I think, what he's trying to say is just scratch that part, raise the number to be consistent, lower the other number to be consistent, and it's good. That's how I understood. I'm sorry Andy left, but that's what I got. But Anthony, you're more the economic expert, so.
No, I guess I didn't catch that myself, and I didn't know that, obviously, the county was not involved, because, again, it goes back to, I'm not gonna say it. Going forward, if Andy feels, and this is a collaborative deal with the county, that this needs to be changed, and if it goes towards federal policies, then we can amend that right now and change it, and then go on with the rest of the.
Or bring it
manual.
back next month and make
Or
those
bring it back,
changes.
or
Adopt it
Bring
this
it back
way.
or work with them and adopt
We
it
can adopt
better.
it now and change those later. I'm good with that.
That's what I was.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
It's in our policy to change it, so we can
Let's just
bring
bring
it
it-
back to standards where it should be. where
And
it
we'll make sure,
should have
I'll
been.
make sure, Anthony, that Andy, you and I can make sure that Andy
Yeah.
has that and provides us the appropriate language that he would
From now on,
recommend
we
as.
make sure that our own audit committee, if they're supposed to be auditing, is involved in this. Because
Yeah,
obviously
they're not,
they were-
we've chosen to go to an independent outside auditor
Okay.
Yeah.
as the commission, so.
Okay.
That's, we will bring it back to, I believe that's the process.
Yeah.
If you updating the policy would be another public hearing.
So we've done a lot of great work on the rest
Right,
of
Colette?
this. We've done a lot of great work on the rest of this, and I don't want to diminish that with these changes. So we can, I'll make a motion to approve the policy manual with the changes, as stated, as
Second.
presented.
I'll second that.
Okay, and those,
May I ask for clarification? I'm sorry.
that's why I was gonna ask for clarification before the
Sorry.
motion.
Go ahead,
That's
John.
all right.
Go ahead,
I was
Mr.
gonna-
Chair.
I was gonna ask for clarification on those changes. Can I have staff repeat those changes? What would those changes be?
No, there's no,
no, just-
as
Yeah.
I was suggesting, as the staff presented the report today, adopted as is with direction to staff to we will bring back those financial suggestions at the next meeting.
2.6.
Okay, thank you.
But we
That
can adopt
answered
it
my-
as it is today.
Okay, correct. Is everybody clear? That's what you were saying?
Yes, that answered my question.
That answers everybody's question?
We have a-
Do-
Any other questions or clarification of
Just
the
very
question on the
briefly,
table?
I just want to make sure Andy has a proper amount of time to review it, so it may not be by December. We do have a holiday coming
Oh.
up, so I just want to make sure we give him the
That's
time
fine.
he needs. Okay.
That's fine. So, the motion on table, all in favor? Oh, wait, please a roll call vote.
All right, Commissioner DiMattei,
Yes.
Commissioner Eklund,
Yes.
Commissioner Friedman,
Yes,
Commissioner Gustafson,
Yes.
Commissioner Loman,
Yes.
Commissioner Rohan, and Chair Alpine.
Yes, thank you. We're gonna lose two commissioners. We still have a quorum. We still have a quorum. Thank you very much. That moves us to our next item. This is business item 9, 10. Business item 10, LAFCO, project number 202506, City of Auburn, and 86 Lincoln Way, out-of-agency service agreement. Can I please have a staff report?
Yes, I will give you that staff report. Can we have the PowerPoint back up, please? So I'm presenting for your consideration LAFCO project number 2025-06. We received a request from the City of Auburn for an out-of-agency service agreement between the owner of 85 Lincoln Way, which consists of two parcels that you can see on the map. They're outlined in red, and the lighter shade on the map is the city boundary. These parcels are in the sphere of influence. The property is approximately 7 acres of bare land and is located outside the city's jurisdictional boundaries, but within the sphere of influence, and is adjacent to the city boundary. Approvals being sought under Government Code Section 56133B, which allows LAFCO to authorize services outside a city's boundary, but within its sphere of influence in anticipation of a later change of organization. Full annexation is not immediately feasible because it would need to be concurrently processed with the adjacent parcels in order to avoid the creation of an island, unincorporated island, which is discouraged by LAFCO policy. The City of Auburn anticipates addressing the annexation of these and additional properties following the completion and adoption of its general plan update, and the City Council has formally resolved to submit an application for annexation of these parcels within 1 year of that general plan update adoption. The city has determined it has the capacity and resources to provide the requested sewer services, with the sewer main located about 100 feet away. The city has found the project to be categorically exempt from CEQA pursuant to sections 15303D and 15061B3, a finding which staff concur. The interim executive officer recommends the commission approve the out-of-agency service agreement subject to one key term and condition. The city must submit a yearly progress report to Placer LAFCO regarding its efforts to annex the subject property as well as surrounding parcels receiving out-of-agency services, consistent with the City Council's resolution to annex the property within 1 year of the general plan update. This approval with the recommended condition is consistent with state law and LAFCO policy, recognizing the additional time required for a proper annexation and ensuring the service is temporary in anticipation of future annexation. So staff recommends the commission adopt Resolution 25-12, approving the out-of-agency service agreement with the stated condition.
All right, any questions on the staff report? Let's see, I don't see Commissioner Friedman. Do you have any questions? All right. Okay, there you are. You have any questions, Judy? All right. seeing
No,
none.
sir.
All right, this is time for the public to comment on this item. Anybody from the public would like to speak to this item, please come to the podium. Seeing no one in chambers, I'll ask those that are online. Anybody online like to speak to this item? Seeing none, I'll close this item for public comment, then bring it back to the commission for action.
I move to approve the item.
All right. Can I please have a roll call vote?
Yes. Commissioner DiMattei is absent. Commissioner Eklund.
Yes.
Commissioner Friedman.
Yes.
Commissioner Gustafson is absent. Commissioner Lohman.
Aye.
Commissioner Rohan. And Chair Alpine.
Yes.
All right, motion passes.
All right, that brings us to item 10 Bravo, Executive Officer's Report. Executive Officer Sanchi.
All right, thank you. So I'll just give a brief update. This commission reviewed the work plan with status updates at the last meeting. Since then, staff has met with several member agencies, whether it's through active municipal service reviews or planned or active applications on file. So I'll just give a quick update on some of those activities. We did meet with the incorporation proponents, as mentioned previously in public comment, recently, and we are going to be meeting again in the next couple of weeks, and plan to have regular meetings here on out to make sure that progress is made. As you heard, we anticipate the full petition to be submitted in the coming weeks that will be delivered to the registrar of voters to review each signature and confirm signatures. And then once that is the certificate, should that be deemed sufficient, then we would be waiting for a full application to be filed. And so we did discuss if there's opportunities for the proponents to submit like a pre-application with a deposit to get on file so that there can be more efforts to move forward, like the request for proposal process for the comprehensive fiscal analysis and the environmental review process. So that there is interest in trying to move forward those processes. So staff is meeting in the coming weeks to talk and to review that, and we'll keep you posted on efforts with the proposed incorporation. There's also, as you know, a countywide cemetery municipal service review. We do have an admin draft received from RSG, the consultants. We are reviewing that in progress. We're also meeting with cemetery districts and want to really try to lay out, there's some substantial changes that the commission will be considering, spheres of influence changes between cemetery district providers, as well as some struggling districts. So we really want to really think comprehensively about the range of options and bring forward a very complete and thoughtful recommendation, and we'll continue to keep the commission updated. We also have an admin draft for the Eastern Fire Regional Municipal Service Review, and the consultant there is ESCI. We do have edits. We will be providing those edits to the consultant, and I know those districts have been very actively involved, and they're really wanting to see the report. So we're getting through our review as fast as we can. With regard to the Placer Hills and Newcastle fire reorganization, the Board of Supervisors did approve a property tax exchange resolution. And so that resolution, once received by LAFCO, will be able to issue a certificate of filing. And then once that certificate of filing is issued, we'll be bringing forward that reorganization to the commission within 90 days. The RSG is continuing to work on the City of Colfax Municipal Service Review. So that's still in progress. We don't have an admin draft yet, but we will be connecting with the city soon just to check in and with RSG. And then and thinking ahead to the December meeting, we'll be bringing the commission a mid-year budget review, and we will also be the opportunity to look mid-year at the work plan as well, and continue to keep you posted on progress. With that, available for any questions.
Any questions on the executive report by any commissioners? Any commissioner online? Any questions, comments? All right, seeing none. Thank you. And then I'll bring us to commissioners' comments. Any commissioner have any comments? I think we covered everybody, did the LAFCO conference. Thank you for attending. Seemed like you brought back a lot of information that it looks like it'll be used in the short term here and helps share some policy direction. I appreciate you guys taking time out of your schedules. I know this is a voluntary type effort, and taking a week off is a big deal, but it is appreciated that you attend. Ask Commissioner Friedman online, do you have any comments? Anything you'd like to report?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And with that, I'm gonna ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right, thank you. Motion, we are adjourned.